Just a minute. All right. By this time, I think this is 5th session, so you must have memorized the sections, various sections of the chapter. See, if you want to remember Bhagavad Gita nicely, just take time to go through the chapter sections regularly. What is said from this verse to this, from this to this, this to this. So if you remember by going through again and again the sections, then you will remember Bhagavad Gita overall. So chapter sections like Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, as soon as we remember, then we see that, okay, what is there from verse 1 to 13, there are preparations for the war. Then from 14 to 20, there are signs of victory. 21 to 28, Krishna's Bhaktavatsal nature. Welcome. Hare Krishna. And then we see that from verse 28 onwards, all the way up to the last chapter, last verse, it is Arjuna's reasons for not fighting. How many reasons?
5.
In first chapter? 4 only. Out of 5, 4. So like that, if you remember the contents, how it's flowing, then it is very easy to remember Gita. So for that, you may have to go through the chapter sections again and again. So we have the chapter section slides in the PPT, or you are using the handbook. You can find it there. If you are using books, other books like Gita Subodhini or like that, there also you may find. So go through that sections. Like coming to the second chapter now, you remember from second chapter, first verse up to 10 verse, what was the major discussion? 2.1 to 10. How does Arjuna begin second chapter? Yeah, surrender. Arjuna's expressing the indecision and then the surrender, Then when Krishna begins to speak, what is the first thing that he speaks? Atma Gyan. That is spoken from 2.11 to 2.30, second chapter, 30th verse. Then Krishna says that, okay, at least you fight on the level of Karma Kand. That's spoken in 2.31 to 37. Then Krishna, we said that he gives different inspirations to fight. So he gives much higher inspiration than Karma Kand. That is by Buddhi Yoga. So in that Buddhi Yoga, from 2.40 to 46, he explains what meaning of Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga has 2 meanings, Bhakti Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Krishna in 2.40, meaning Neha Bhikrama Nashosti, from that verse he is explaining what exactly? It's Bhakti Yoga. Then yesterday we saw from 2.47, he starts explaining Nishkam Karma Yoga. That famous verse, Karmanye Vadhikarast. You have the right to perform your duty, not to the results. Why results? Why not? Because if you are attached to the results, you will generate karmic reaction. Ma karma phala hetu bhu. Don't become the cause of getting the karma phala. Okay, then I will forget, I will not do the duty only. What does Krishna say? Mate sanghostva karmani. No, you have to fight also. You have to do the duty also. So that's how. Fine. So that was also explained. And then the last section then, if somebody becomes self-realized by the path of Buddhi Yoga, if somebody becomes self-realized by the path of Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, then what are the symptoms of such a person, right? That's what Arjuna asked in the end. In the last section, 2.54, Arjuna has asked 4 questions. What are the 4 questions?
What are the symptoms?
Symptoms of whom?
Symptoms of a bhakta.
Of a bhakta? Of a self-realized soul. Yeah, self-realized soul. Yes.
And how does he speak? How does he walk? And how does he sit?
Yeah, good. So now those are the literal questions. So now those literal questions, what do they mean, Prabhu? What's the?
How he looks at all things.
Is that the symptom? See, the first question is Kim Bhasha? Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha? Sorry. So what does that mean? Symptom is the defining characteristic. The defining, the definition. Then when next question is that how does he talk? What does that mean? How does he speak? Kim Prabhashit. So what does that mean?
How does he respond?
How does he respond to what?
To the world.
To the material sense gratification, or if some distress or happiness.
Very good. Yeah, that's the point. How does he respond to happiness and distress? That's the question. Then the next question is, how does he sit? Does he sit suddenly or he sits slowly? What's the question about? How does he sit? What does that mean? Mataji, how does he sit? How? How does he control his senses? See, sitting means how does he restrict his senses? That is called like the tortoise restricting them. So when unfavorable stimuli come, when something which is not Krishna conscious comes in front of his senses, how does he control his senses? Right? Like sometimes we see in this world, somebody after becoming a bhakta, sometimes he's going on the street and some, I mean this is more in India, some street food, some smell may come the item which he likes the most. Right? Like before coming to bhakti, many Maharashtrians like that onion bhaji. That's a very popular, or something like pav bhaji or something. So you walk into the streets of Mumbai, it's just food everywhere. So as soon as he gets that smell, what does he feel? How does he restrict his senses? That's the question. Or in this world, sometimes, sense gratification sites are there. So when he comes across it, how does he restrict himself? Like Ajamil saw the sense gratification site, and did he restrict himself? No. So he should have restricted. So how does a devotee restrict? That's the question. How does he sit? Usko bolte sitting. And then how does he walk? What is the meaning of that?
How to act and what
How to act. When the senses are to be engaged, how does he engage them? Does he engage like materialistic people? Like they also enjoy food. And the devotees also enjoy prasadam. So are they both the same? There is difference, right? So this is called how does he walk. This walking is in terms of, as I said, it's not in terms of is he walking slowly or fast or like an elephant or like a duck or something. No. It's in terms of how does he act in this world. When he engages his senses, what is his consciousness? He is accepting food, he is accepting money. In this world, when you work, don't you get money? You get money. You are utilizing your senses also to accept those various activities that outside people also do. Eating, sleeping, mating, all these aspects. But when a devotee does these activities, what is his consciousness? A self-realized person does it. When he engages his senses, is it like any materialistic person engaging his senses? Everything for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's service. So that's basically how does he walk. How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he speak? And then the first one was, what's the definition of a sthita pragya? So we have seen in this, Krishna began by giving the definition that self-realized soul is the one who gives up all desires for sense gratification. He gives up. So whatever he does, he wants to do it for Krishna's pleasure. Or if he is a Nishkam Karma Yogi, then he does it for moksha. He does it so that I can realize I am not body, I am spirit, soul. These two differences are there. So such a person is completely happy within. He is not running behind sense objects of this world. He is happy within. He is happy by the knowledge of God consciousness, the knowledge of spirit, soul, difference between Atma and body. How does he respond to the situation? That was answered in 56 and 57. How does he respond when the dukkha comes in his life? How does a devotee respond?
He is such a minimized karma.
Very nice.
And
He takes
when
it as,
good comes, it's a mercy of Krishna.
yeah, when good comes, he feels, probably I didn't deserve this, but still Krishna is giving. And the bad comes, he says, probably I deserved more. Krishna is giving very little. We sometimes do the other way, right? When we get something, we may feel, Krishna, itna hi diya kya hai? I should have got more. Within our heart we may say, we may not say outside, but within our heart we may feel, I deserve more. Actually, Krishna should give me more. I have now become devotee. Does he not know? He should give me more. And when Krishna gives some misery in our life, then we may feel like, why is he troubling me? I'm such a good devotee. If I was not a devotee, then he could have troubled. But now I am a devotee. Why is he troubling me? Maybe I am exaggerating the thoughts little bit, but it's there in our heart. Little bit it comes. Right? If it doesn't come, then you are a pure devotee. My obeisances to you. Like that. But in more or less proportion, yes, it's there. But devotee is reforming. That's why it is a glorious position. Even if a devotee feels like that, he later becomes regretful that actually I should not demand Krishna. Why am I demanding Krishna? It's not good. I should do Nishkam Bhakti. That's how a devotee. So the standard of Bhakti that Bhagavad Gita teaches, and especially it is taught in our Sampradaya and by Srila Prabhupada to us, it's the standard of pure Bhakti. It is without any desire for sense gratification, Nishkama completely. Otherwise, outside also people, they talk about Bhakti. Hum bhi mandir jate hai, har hafte jate hai, like that they will say. But they'll have a list of what all they want from the Lord. So whenever they go, they will take out the list. So whenever Krishna fulfills, then they tick, ye ho gaya, this is done, this. Now this is the next list. God should fulfill. And what is my reciprocation? Yeah, I put you saw, I gave a coconut to Lord. Shri Phala, coconut. The devotee is opposite. He wants to give so much for Krishna, and from Krishna he doesn't want anything. You're just given the opportunity to serve, opportunity to associate with devotees, opportunity to glorify you. That's a very high standard of bhakti. So even if we are not completely up to the standard, still it is okay. Even if in this life we are not able to come to that 100% standard, no problem. It's worth to aspire for a glorious thing rather than settle with something which is not a very high level of bhakti. Prabhupada would say, like this idea that bhakti, pure bhakti is very high. So no problem, we still aspire for it. Like Prabhupada would say, it is like aiming for a rhinoceros. So Prabhupada would say, if at all you want to aspire for bhakti, then aspire for pure bhakti. Why for some lower bhakti which is not up to the mark? Like they say that amongst the hunters they say, aim for a rhinoceros and don't aim for a rabbit. You understand? Anyway, devotees don't do hunting, but it's a proverb. It's a proverb. You understand? Aspire for something which is great that way. So that's the point. So the devotee, that's how he responds. When happiness comes, distress comes, he is never distressed by it, but he takes everything as Krishna's mercy, no doubt. And then the third question is being answered, which is how does he sit? And Krishna gives an amazing example for this to explain how does a devotee restrict his senses when the sense objects come. What example did Krishna give? Tortoise. Tortoise. Like you have seen this tortoise, whenever in temples we go, the tortoise is there in temples in the beginning, right? So I had this question on my mind always, and I used to ask also. I asked father and all, why this tortoise is there? At least if they wanted to put, they should have put rabbit, no? Because rabbit is fast. Tortoise is too slow. So my father used to say, I don't know, don't ask me such questions. This was my one of the questions. Whenever I went into temple and saw that tortoise, I used to say, why the tortoise is there? And then somebody said, see, one of Vishnu's avatar was Kurma, so that's why the tortoise is there. Like some sort of answer they would give. And then when I met devotees, I asked this question to the devotee, that why Prabhu, why in the temple tortoise is there? And then he explained from this verse of Bhagavad Gita. And first time in my life I was like so satisfied that yes. So he told that you see that tortoise in the temple enter, are his limbs outside or they are inside? In the tortoise that's there in the temple, what do you see? The limbs are outside or they are inside? Outside. They are outside, they are not inside. So devotee said, when you come into Krishna's temple, you know, by your eyes, by your ears, by your hands, just grab Krishna. Keep all the senses alert, hear the kirtans, see the beautiful form of the Lord, serve the devotees, walk, do pradakshina. So that is like taking out those limbs, because this is the place where you take out limbs. And when you go out in the material world, you withdraw the limbs. Haribol. And I was like so thrilled by the explanation. He said, now you will go out from the temple and you will see big billboard where, you know, some sense gratification is being advertised. Then he said, you take the limbs inside the shell. You are not interested in that, but you have come to temple, now take the limbs outside. So such a beautiful expansion, right? So that's what Krishna is saying here, that a devotee, Sthita Prajna, he is like that. When the bad stimuli come to his senses, he immediately restricts his senses. How does he do that is the next verse now. Very important verse for Krishna conscious understanding. This is one of the classic verses which defines the process of bhakti. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Please read.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Yeah. How is that a person, when he sees the bad stimuli of this world, he is able to restrict his senses like the tortoise? So this verse is explaining how does that happen? How can it happen? So he says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina. Even if somebody may not feed the senses the craving that they are doing for, like, you know, every sense craves for something, right? Isn't it? Like eyes crave for what? For seeing the beautiful sight, beauty of this world. The eyes crave for that. Ears crave for what? Sound. Nose craves for what? Then the tongue, the taste. Similarly, the touch, the soft touch. So every senses have their cravings. So Krishna is saying here that even if somebody stops giving the inputs to those senses, he does not fulfill the desire of those senses. Nirahar, it is called nirahar. Ahar means, you understand, ahar, khana. Nirahar matlab without har. So you are actually like some yogi or a sthita prajna like this. If he is not feeding his senses, meaning he is not giving his senses what craving the senses are doing for, still rasavarjam, still the taste of the senses for enjoying that object, does it go away? No. It doesn't go away. So Krishna is telling how does it go away? And that's the last line of the verse. It is a defining line. Param drishtva nivartate. He says the taste will go away by experiencing higher taste. If you experience higher taste, will you give up the lower taste or not? Somebody is very hungry. दे दो बाबा, दे दो कुछ खाने को. Right? Like sometimes some beggar may be there and he wants sukhi roti hai. Nahi, sukhi roti, kuch bhi de do. Like that. But if he is having sukhi roti and there comes the devotee, food for life from Kanai Desh, and then they bring some malpua, or today Mataji had made custard, or dahi vada or gulab jamun, and you show to that person, he is hungry, gulab jamun. So will he be like, hey, nahi, meri roti hai na, sukhi roti. He will be like, he will forget about sukhi roti. Give that. Like that. Sukhi roti, that you take. This you give me. What has happened? Higher taste has caused him to give up lower taste. The prasadam, that to such opulent prasadam, sumptuous prasadam, is such a higher taste that you will easily give up the lower taste. So Krishna is telling that how can a sthita prajna control his senses because he is getting the higher taste? He is giving senses higher sense objects. Like eyes want to see some beauty of this world. Instead of that, a sthita prajna or a pure devotee, what does he offer to his eyes? The beauty of Shama Sundar, the beauty of Radharani, the beauty of Gaur-Nitai. So by seeing that beauty, by seeing the beauty of Krishna, then he gives up, like his attraction for the bodily beauty of this world will go away. Right? Yamunacharya prays, Yadavadhi mama cheta Krishna pada ravinde, nava nava rasadhamnyu udyatam rantum asit. From the time I have become a devotee of Krishna, so many beautiful emotions come in my heart of Krishna's Leela, Krishna's form. Tadavadhi nari sangame smaryamane. He says, that time if I think about this world sense gratification, I spit at the thought. Because he's getting so much joy in the bhakti of Krishna, right? So this is higher taste. You replace the material sense objects with spiritual sense objects. Otherwise, just trying to control senses, I will not see, I will not, like I was saying that, somebody is going on the street and nose is pulling him to some item of food which he was liking before, like some onion bhaji or whatever, like these are the very strong smells, right? And then one feels like, and he's reminded, bhakti mein aane ke pehle to khate the, like, but abhi to nahi. So, but if he is getting such prasadam in bhakti, then he will feel that disgusting smell, right? It happens.
I heard one lecture, Prabhuji, where they talk about suppression and sublimation.
Suppression and sublimation, true. So this sublimation is a psychological concept where you replace something with a higher engagement. And Krishna is speaking here about the highest engagement, the highest taste. Like they say, what is sublimation? If somebody is an alcoholic, he has a big problem of alcohol, make that person get taste in playing piano. If you give him taste in playing piano or some musical instruments or painting, so what will happen? He will get so much joy in that painting or music that he will forget about what? About alcohol. That's called sublimation. So Krishna is saying here that replacing with Krishna conscious objects is the highest sublimation. There can be no greater sense object for the senses than actually Krishna conscious sense object. So if you get attracted to the beauty of Krishna, you get attracted to decorating the deities and making them look like so exquisite, beautiful. You will be amazed when I started doing deity worship. I mean, all of you also will have this experience. I remember when I got this opportunity to serve the deities, dress Radha Vrindavan Chandra, dress Gaur-Nitai, dress Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Almost 6 years I served in temple as the deity in charge. So you see, by decorating the Lord, your desire to decorate yourself will go away. This is an amazing thing that happens. When you decorate the Lord, then you don't so much feel like I should also look good. You are always thinking about, okay, how can I make Lord look good? So that taste for one's own sense enjoyment, to look good, or so that people should appreciate, how am I am so stylish and all that will go away. And so many devotees have experienced this aspect. So param drishtva nivartate. That param here is higher taste. Just like by accepting Krishna Prasad, do people give up their lower taste or not? Somebody may be attached to non-vegetarian food, but once they start eating prasadam, how quickly they give up? What has happened? Higher taste has helped him to give up lower taste. So take this for any object, any sense object, whether for eyes, ears, nose, anything for that matter. So param drishtva nivartate. So how is Sthita Prajna able to control his senses? Why is he able to withdraw his senses from the worldly phenomena? What is the reason? Because he has a higher taste. So if there is no higher taste in life, it's very difficult to give up the lower taste. So it's a very relevant verse for all of us in Bhakti also. We have to cultivate higher taste. Somebody likes to read a lot. Like they call it voracious reader. Voracious means he reads everything. Magazine आया, magazine भी पढ़ता है, अखबार भी पढ़ता है, कुछ भी पढ़ा है वो पढ़ता ही है वो. Like that. That's called a voracious reader. So if such a person develops the taste for reading Shastra, so you see his taste for reading the mundane will go away. One starts feeling it to be like so superficial. The talk is very superficial there. Although for one's profession one may do it still. Like I remember before coming to Bhakti also, I was into reading a lot of literatures, Shakespeare and also Hindi, lot of literatures, Marathi also. I had read all Shakespeare's novels and Hamlet, The Merchant of Venice, and Othello, all that stuff. But when we read Bhagavad Gita and when we read the scripture books, then that all appears very superficial. Param drishtva nivartate. So that may be also wisdom at a certain level. We are not rejecting that. But nothing like spiritual subject matter. It is so profound. It is directly dealing with the truth. Even Gandhiji said that. Gandhiji said that when I read Bhagavad Gita, everything else appears to be so superfluous. He says the discussion in Bhagavad Gita is so profound, like that. So that's the point. Param drishtva nivartate. So very important. That's how he is able to.
You said sublimation and suppression. So
suppression is what? Suppression is just trying to control a person without giving him higher taste. Just like somebody is alcoholic, so trying to make sure that he cannot reach alcohol only. They will cut down the access to alcohol and all. So he is getting alcohol from somewhere. They will cut down everything and they'll say, no, you cannot drink. So they will try to brainwash him by not allowing him to drink. But the point is, you are cutting down the access, suppression, but as soon as he gets access, what will happen? Again he will take it. That's what Krishna is saying also in this verse. Niraharasya. He says, Niraharasya vishayana vinivadante. If the senses are not fed, senses are not allowed to enjoy a certain sense object, does that mean the taste of that sense object goes away? No. Never goes away. So this is suppression. In the suppression it never goes away. Out of sight, out of mind, they say. But as soon as within sight, then within body also, not just mind. Out of sight, out of mind, they say, just cut down access to that thing. But as soon as it comes in the sight, then he grabs it. और फिर तो जो पिछला lose, whatever he had lost, वो पूरा with the interest he will consume that then. You understand? This is what happens in the suppression actually. A person may be restricted artificially, and then when he gets the opportunity, then he wants to just take so much. Why higher taste is missing? Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, as you said, being a tortoise, relatively at least directionally, it's easy. But exactly the way you said it, when the Maya comes and grabs you, that one day.
Yeah.
The slightest loss and slightest, you just get slight lose and you just get it. So the most difficult question is, Prabhu, how do you cultivate the higher taste? So that is absolutely because, and who amongst us has developed higher taste? I mean,
Yeah. See, we all have developed higher taste. It is at a certain level. Somebody is at this level, somebody is at this level, somebody is at this level. Now, higher taste. All of us have a higher taste, right? Before coming to Bhakti, we may be liking certain food items. Now, when we are going and you may see that food item in the street, is it that the other devotees have to hold you? Prabhu, no, we don't eat, Prabhu. We don't. It's like, you feel like, oh, okay, who cares? Who cares? Somebody may be addicted to even non-vegetarian food. But now you see it, you don't feel like, अरे मुझे पकड़ो कोई मैं चला जाऊँ. नहीं. You feel like disgusting. So this is a higher taste. You have developed higher taste, certain extent. So this may be something at a simpler level about the food. Now somebody may have developed little bit more on a subtler aspect also. Somebody may have lost the interest in material subject matters like sports. Previously we were very interested in sports. Cricket, wo din bhar chala jata tha. He's watching the match and then after that India loses, so you feel like beating each other. So you wasted time also and you didn't get joy also, right?
Break the TV.
They break the TV. Yeah, so many cases like that. But then after you became Krishna conscious, then you started relishing seva and all that. And then cricket is there. So yeah, okay, it's there. Who cares? Like that. Oh, no, but India is winning. Yeah, India is winning. Let her win. No problem. Some joy we may still feel in the heart. Acha, India jeeta kya? Okay, good. Like that. But still, we are not going to watch it so much. Even if we watch, maybe somebody may watch highlights. Looks like some of the boys, when we preach to the boys, college boys, then they said to us, Prabhuji, I have stopped watching match now. Can I at least see highlights? they ask like that. These are like new devotees, becoming devotees. So we said, okay, you can watch highlights, no problem. That much is okay. And then after some 1 or 2 years, he says, Prabhu, I will give up watching highlights also. It is so boring. Like that, I don't. So you see higher taste here also. He lost the. So like this, slowly the higher taste will come to such a level where you don't have any attraction for worldly things. Even money's attraction will go. Otherwise that's quite a formidable one, right? The attraction for money. The attraction for subtle name, fame, prestige. Name, fame, glory. Like they say, name, fame, glory, same old story. Like that. So one will be just happy. He served and that's it. He disappeared from there. Prabhuji, where is Prabhuji? Prabhuji cooked. Prabhuji is gone. He doesn't want to hear that glory also. Like that. So what has happened? This is a higher taste, you see. Just happy to serve. Not even the fruit. This way. And especially the attraction for opposite sex and the attraction for money. These two are considered to be the formidable attraction. Kanaka, Kamini. For a man, woman, for a woman, man. Both ways it goes. So these two attractions, if go away, one has made really a very great progress in bhakti. That way. So that's possible by the higher taste. How to cultivate higher taste? Yes. That is by actually engaging in those activities. If you engage initially, it may be a little forcible also. Forcibly we engage. But then by that forcible engagement, you will see that soon you will start liking it. Soon you will develop a taste for it. Right? Like in childhood, our mother, she cooks a certain food. And then by eating it again and again from her hands, it becomes our favorite food, right? Like so much it becomes favorite food. That you may bring a big feast, but then when my mother cooks a certain delicacy, then I will feel like, no, that's the best one. This is only the best, no matter what. Because, you are sort of also used to, because of eating a certain food, you have become very much tuned into it. Fine-tuned and tuned in and fine-tuned into it. that way. So similarly it happens in Krishna conscious activities also. When you do it over and over, so you develop the higher taste. You start liking those things, because that's the nature of Krishna conscious activities. They are nectarian. They are like that. So then you see that slowly you will lose the taste for lower things. You may do it as much it is needed. Okay, it's needed, so this much I will do, no problem. But this is what I like. So Prabhu, param drishtva nivartate, developing higher taste, it's a matter of coming in association and taking up those spiritual positive things. Serve the deities, serve devotees, sing kirtans, do the service, cook for the devotees, speak about Krishna, speak Bhagavad Gita, learn it, speak it. So you see, you will feel like doing it more and more and more. That's the way to higher taste, develop higher taste. We understand the importance of those things and we actually do them. We just don't watch others doing it and appreciate others doing it. Prabhuji does very nice service. I have seen he is so happy in doing the service. What about you? Yeah, I observe. No, but you do also. No, I am a good observer. Prabhupada said, the proof of the pudding is in eating. Otherwise, we will also be like those Mayavadis. That bottle is there, and outside only they are licking and saying, what? You didn't even taste actually. So the way to develop higher taste is by engaging in those activities. Prabhu, that gives sense? Yeah.
I just want to share something. A thought came to my mind. In physics, you have potential, right? So when the potential difference is high, and the current is very strong.
Very true. Very true.
So what we explained to, potential keeps on going down. But for us, the problem is where the potential has gone down, and I think I also feel it too, but the current is still there. It's not become negative. It's not the other direction.
Absolutely. I understand. Yeah. So that's how, like Prabhupada would say that you have to exert voluntary force in bhakti. Voluntarily we bring ourselves in association. Voluntarily we take certain decisions in life. That my mind sometimes may give trouble, my mind may say, why you are giving so much time? No, but I will go in association. So when we come in association, you see, then that higher taste, practically you get drenched into that, forcibly it comes to us. And then slowly mind becomes purified. Once mind becomes pure, then one will start liking it. It becomes very nice. Like they say, you have a magnet. Prabhupada would give this example also. You have a magnet, but if that magnet is rusted, then you see its attractive, that attraction power, that is very less. But when you clean it nicely by some fluid like kerosene or something, very nicely, then the power is again it is manifested to draw the iron objects very powerfully. So the magnet or the iron objects, when they are rusted, oftentimes they lose their power to attract. But you remove the rust, then you see they are again very much attracted. So what happens by coming in association is that the rust of the mind will go away, and then you naturally start manifesting that attraction for the Supreme Lord. Because it's there in our heart, Prabhu. We are spirit souls and servants of Krishna. So it's actually there, naturally there. It just has to be revived. So that revival is the bhakti process, that way. It's there, the ability is there. So we remove the contamination and you see, that it's there within, inside, it will come out. So that's the point. Param drishtva nivartate. So there is no point in giving the fight with the senses. You have to develop the higher taste. Otherwise it's just a negative fight. No, I have to say no to the worldly things. No, you just say to, our process is saying yes to Krishna rather than just saying no to Maya. Go on saying yes to Krishna for service, for chanting, and then you see there will not be any place for Maya, right? Like in this, in this room, suppose there are some people who are not supposed to be there. So you tell them to leave, they don't leave only. They don't go away only. So what you do, you call so many devotees here, or so many are coming inside, that you crowd them out. You know, they will feel like, "Arey, bahut zyada ho gaya idhar. We are feeling suffocated." You go. So yeah, we are going. You know, that way. So you crowd material desires, Prabhu. They are to be crowded out. If you tell them to go, they will not go. They will not go. You have to crowd them out. You understand this example? इतना लेके आओ अंदर ना माइंड में. ये भी करना है, गीता क्लास भी करना है, भागवतम भी करना है. I have to serve the deities also. I have to serve devotees also. I have this plan also, that plan also. Oh, where is the space for Maya? Because there is some particular space is there, no, in your brain. You filled it up with so much with Krishna conscious stuff that Maya disappeared only. There is no. She will say, "Arey, this fellow is not giving any space to me." Like that. Bulb example also I gave. If you want to make something into vacuum, it's difficult. You want to take out air, it's not that easy. But you fill it up with noble gas, the air will be out immediately. So you fill up the mental space with noble Krishna consciousness, and you see all the lower thoughts will go away. So such a beautiful explanation Krishna is giving. You see, param drishtva nivartate. And this verse was one of the verses which inspired me so much in bhakti process, that this is the way to control senses. Because I had been going to Soham meditation and all, I told you, right? They never spoke about higher engagement. They just said, the mind may come up with bad thoughts, just drive them away. Where drive them away? They are there only. They are not ready to go only. Like that. So, our process is not emptying the mind of contamination. It is filling the mind with Krishna. So you fill the mind with Krishna so much, contamination ke liye jagah hi nahi. Out. You know, that way. You have some ink in a pot. You start pouring water. Initially the water will be bluish because of the ink. Continue pouring it. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Ink will only go away. Then there's just water. That's it. The ink has disappeared completely because you poured so much water into it. So that's how. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain type of eatables. Sometimes, like Prabhupada gives a very nice example. This is also a very beautiful example. If someone is a patient, like a diabetic, so diabetic person cannot eat sweets, or should not eat, whatever, little. So the person may be told to not eat sweets, but the taste for the sweets, does it go away? It doesn't go away. Right? It remains. That is rasa varjam. Ras jata nahi hai, Bhagavan keh rahe. Rasa doesn't go away. The sense objects, they may not be utilized, but the rasa doesn't go. The taste doesn't go. But that taste also goes away when you have a higher taste. Param drishtva. So rasa here is that taste for the sense objects. So Prabhupada is saying, a patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for the eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by processes like Ashtanga Yoga or Jnana Yoga, such processes, no. They don't give a higher engagement to senses, literally speaking. Bhakti Yoga gives that higher engagement. The process of Jnana and Ashtanga, they are difficult because of this actually. We will see this, it's coming ahead, but you can understand Krishna or the Bhakti process is so wonderful because it gives the higher engagement. That's not so much there in Jnana, because they don't have service of Krishna. They just study whole day. And you are tired of study, then again study. You're too much tired of study, so take a break and again study. Like that. So that's how. Imagine if in our moment only study was there. How many people would be there, right? Only study, study, study. That's what they do. Like that. So that's why they also sometimes lose taste of their own path and they want to do Bhagavad Katha. The Jnanis and even the others, which is not their process actually. We'll see Jnana Yoga in detail ahead, so you will understand. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushascha vipaschitah indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manah. Yeah.
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discrimination, who is endeavoring to control them.
Yeah, so Krishna is saying, you are asking me question, how does he restrict his senses, right? The sthita prajna. So know this, it's not that easy, you have to have higher taste. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushascha vipaschitah. Even if man is of great discrimination, he is an intelligent man, he is not a fool. He is sincerely practicing to control his senses. Even for such a man, Krishna says, the indriyani pramathini, the senses are so strong that they can, pull the mind, and the mind may run to do some sense gratification or sinful activity. So Arjuna, Krishna is basically reiterating the fact that you need higher taste in this world. You just artificially try to control senses. Suppression won't work. You have to have the sublimation, but sublimation in the sense the highest sublimation, not the worldly sublimation, where you just replace one thing, one material bad activity by another good activity. We want to replace by transcendental activity, not just good. So Prabhupada gives example of Vishwamitra. How difficult it is to control senses. You all know the story of Vishwamitra. He fell not once, not twice. How many times? Thrice. First time he fell because of what anartha? No, not really. That's when he was a king. That's when he was Kaushik. But later he became Vishwamitra. So first time, Menaka. Menaka was first time. So he fell because of Kama first time. He was doing tapasya and he was not following Bhakti path. Vishwamitra was following Ashtanga Yoga path, not Bhakti path. So what happened is, when he was doing the meditation, then Indra becomes he becomes anxiety stricken when somebody starts performing meditation. क्योंकि उसको क्या लगता है, ये मेरे पीछे पोस्ट के पीछे पड़ा है करके. अभी वो बेचारे विश्वामित्र का कोई नहीं था ऐसा प्लान. He was doing for his own spiritual emancipation. But Indra, insecure. There are some people like that, right? Whatever you do, they feel like he wants to use up my post. So Indra felt like that. So he said, Menaka, thoda जाइए, आपके हुनर दिखा के आइए. So Menaka went there just by tinkling of her ankle bells. पायल, उनकी पायल की मधुर झंकार सुन के विश्वामित्र opened the eyes, and then he saw this heavenly beauty, Menaka. Immediately decided, what am I doing in this forest? I should have the glorious life with Menaka. And then he left the path of meditation and went with Menaka. After many, many years, then he understood, oh, I have been distracted from the path of spiritual life. So then he left Menaka and came back again to perform meditation. So Indra again in anxiety. So Indra this time sent whom? Rambha. These are all the heavenly damsels. So Rambha came. So she also tinkling of the ankle bells. So this time Vishwamitra became so angry. He said, पिछली बार मेरा समय बर्बाद कर दिया, इस बार छोड़ूंगा नहीं इनको. And then he opened his eyes, and then he made Rambha into stone only. Rambha he made into stone. But because of that anger, whatever power he had got, that he lost. Finished. Back to square one. Because first time he fell because of Kama. Second time because of Krodha. So he said, alas, alas, I have again lost my. So he left again. Rambha was, she was saved by some other intervention. But he went away, and then he again decided to perform the meditation, the austerities. And this time he got the power. he could accomplish it, you know. But then what happened? There was this Trishanku, that person named Trishanku, and he came to Vishwamitra and he said, see, I want to go to heaven. So Vishwamitra said, it's good, no, you can go. Perform Jyotishtom sacrifice, you can go to heaven. Trishanku said, no, I want to go without performing the sacrifice. So he said, that's not the procedure. So he said, that's what Vashishta also told me. I had first, before coming to you, I went to Vashishta. Vashishta and Vishwamitra had the rivalry, you know that. So he said, Vishwamitra also said that, yeah, without performing sacrifice you can't go. So if you are also like Vashishta, then it's okay. I will accept. So Vishwamitra said, Vashishta said, you cannot go without sacrifices. Yeah, he said like that. I will send you without sacrifice. What is this? So now this time he is again falling prey. To which trap? This is not Kama. This is not Krodha. This is not Lobha also. Envy, yeah, more than envy. Mada, pride, ahankar. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So Matsarya is envy. So he was not so much envious here, but he became very proud. He said, oh, okay, he can't do it, I can do it. So he said to Trishanku, by my power of austerity, I will send you to the heaven. So he started, rise, O Trishanku. And then Trishanku started flying towards heaven. Ding, 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 ding. So Indra thought, kaun hai ye fellow? Without performing proper sacrifice and all, this fellow is coming inside here. Some upstart. No entry for such people. So Indra, from top, he hit him with Vajra. And then he was going up, Trishanku now started coming down. Then Vishwamitra said, what is happening here? So he said, that Indra hit me with Vajra. So he said, rise again. Then again, he is going on top. Then again Indra said, this fellow again is coming. He again hit in Vajra. So he got so much beaten like that, this Trishanku, that he said, bas karo. You know, tennis grand slam, here only it is happening. He said, you are making me into tennis ball. Like that. Either say Federer maar raha hai, either say Novak Djokovic maar raha hai. You know, both are beating me like that. So he said, but Vishwamitra said, no, but I want you to go to heaven. He said, please leave me. I don't want to go. Like that. And then Vishwamitra was there. Vishwamitra said, okay, Indra is not allowing, I will create a heaven for you, another heaven. Exactly like that heaven. He had such power of mysticism. So he started creating another heaven, exact replica of Amravati, of Indra's abode. So he created also, but that heaven was not ready to, it was not possible for him to sustain there. He could create it, but the power of maintenance is whose? Lord Vishnu. So he was not able to maintain that, and that heaven started falling down on the earth. Oh, sab log dar gaye, Trishanku bhi dar gaya, baap re, abhi if this heaven falls on earth, what will happen? Like that. So everybody started crying out, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu appeared, and then he held the heaven there. And then by his mystic power, he finished also, destroyed also that heaven. And he turned to Vishwamitra and said, kya dhande kar rahe ho ye sab? What things you are doing, all this stuff? He said, this is not your job, this creation of planets and all this. He said, you perform bhakti. You fell because of lust, you fell because of anger, and this time you fell because of pride. So he said, take shelter of my lotus feet, perform bhakti, then only you can be saved. So Vishwamitra also by that time had realized his mistake. He fell at the feet of Vishnu and said, my Lord, I understood, yes. So then he took to the bhakti process, and then he became the great Vishwamitra, Brahmarshi, whom even Lord Ramachandra accepted as his guru, right? You see that Lord Ramachandra became his disciple. Of course, Ramachandra is Bhagavan, but still he accepted Vishwamitra's great qualities. So that's how. So the process of Ashtanga Yoga is being compared with Bhakti Yoga in this way. You can see that there is great difference between these processes. Bhakti Yoga process gives a great higher taste compared to Jnana or even Ashtanga Yoga. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot seize such material engagements. In fact, Prabhupada gives another example of Maharaj Ambarish. So Maharaj Ambarish, he could conquer a great yogi, Durvasa. Isn't it? You know the story, right? So Durvasa typically represents the path of Ashtanga Yoga again. And Ambarish represents the path of which yoga? Bhakti Yoga. So Durvasa, we see that he could not curb his anger and his pride of him being a great yogi. But Krishna, like Vishnu, you see that he taught him a lesson. He had to run around so much because he had offended a great devotee. And Vishnu said, no, you cannot get. He went to Brahma, he went to Shiva, he went to Vishnu. He said, we cannot protect you because you have offended pure devotee, Maharaj Ambarish. You go and fall at his feet, then only you will be forgiven. Although Maharaj Ambarish did not want it, he was very humble. He thought that because of me, Durvasa ji is going through such a great trouble. But can Lord tolerate it? So a devotee may forgive the aparadh, but Krishna doesn't forgive. Krishna wants to punish them. He may punish little, he may punish more also, depending on what is the aparadh. But the best way, if we commit some aparadh of some devotees, basically go and beg forgiveness. If the devotee forgives, then Krishna forgives. Sometimes we see that we may commit some aparadh or like that, but we may be just not that humble to go and seek forgiveness. We may just keep it in our mind. So that's not a good scenario. If you feel you have hurt a devotee, go and express it. Take that humble role. Krishna is very happy with that. Krishna will give you a great joy within your heart then. He will relieve you from all that negativity that the strain has caused this way. So it's very important amongst devotees, that the devotees, they take this aspect very seriously. We want to lovingly serve each other. But in the loving service, sometimes there are some conflicts also. So those conflicts we should immediately beg forgiveness and again continue service. Bhakti process is like those diamond cleaning process, right? How the diamonds are, how they sparkle. So diamonds, when they are taken out from the mines, they have a lot of burr in it. There is a lot of material deposited on diamonds and the diamond is also there. So they put into an abrasive machine where the diamonds, they rub against each other like that, and then after some time all that burr falls off and the diamonds are shining, sparkling. So in bhakti we are also like diamonds with that burr. We have somebody has pride, somebody has anger, somebody has these things. When they come together, then they rub against each other, devotees also. We see that what happens is when we come together, sometimes our egos clash, isn't it? Somebody may feel like, I am more intelligent. Somebody may feel like, Prabhu, you don't understand. This is not like this. So sometimes there are some clashes on the service also. We should serve like this. Then other devotees say, no, we should serve like this. So then there is conflict. How exactly we should? So in the association, it will not be always that everything is like just ideal, rosy kind of. No, sometimes there may be some differences also. But those differences will actually make us become more sparkle with beautiful qualities, because then we understand, I am not humble. I should become humble, If you stay away from association, you will never learn these things, because there we feel like I am pure devotee only. I am pure devotee. I think Krishna Prem almost I have got only. One may feel like that. But when one comes in association, then one sees one's anarthas, no? Because then the front person is there, and sometimes we may become envious, we may become angry. So association is said to be like mirror. You get to see yourself. Oh, I have this quality lacking in me. I have this quality lacking in me. So if you are not in association, you will never realize that I have these qualities which are lacking in me. I need to improve here. So that's why Prabhupada would say that devotional service matures in the association of devotees. You become mature. You stay away from the association. Sometimes devotees say, in Vaishnava association there are aparadhas. So, no Vaishnava, no aparadh. They say, I stay in my home and you stay in your home. We perform online bhakti, seeing each other like that. So, no, you have to come together. The process of bhakti is to come together, and then in that sometimes our egos will clash, our difference of opinions will come, but it is like those diamonds rubbing against each other. So soon you will see all the diamonds are sparkling. And you keep them separate, what will happen? Will that extra burr and that material go away? It will not go away. It will stay like that. You are proud, you will remain proud. You are angry, you will remain angry only. But if you come in association, it will go. Association is the mirror. You want to see how you are? Come and see in the association. And then the devotees can tell you. Otherwise, as far as ourselves are concerned, mind convinces us to tell that you already have got Krishna Prem. Like that. Yes? Although we may have only Krishna Prem in the house.
I like what you said last class. You all ask for Krishna Prem, but we have Krishna Prem.
Exactly. That's what I said. Yeah. We may have Krishna Prem in the house, but we are yet to get Krishna Prem. That is very far. So that's why, Prabhu, it's very important that we come in association. Tani sarvani sayyamya yukta sitamat. Okay, yeah. Let's go together. Tani sarvani sayyamya yukta sitamatpara vashehi yasyendriyani tasya pradnya pratishtita. Yes.
One who
Who
restrains
restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence.
Yeah. So this is actually, literally speaking, no, this is a direct verse glorifying bhakti here. In fact, Vishwanath Chakravarti says this is one of the first drops of bhakti process being spoken. Before Krishna spoke Neha Bhikraman Ashosti and all that, but directly did he say something like, so that's why think of me, serve me, become dedicated to me. ऐसा बोला है कभी इसके पहले? In the entire, Krishna never spoke like that till now. This is the first verse where Krishna is using the word being completely devoted to me. What is the word? Matparaha. That's the word. This is first time coming in Gita, where he is telling to Arjuna, Matparaha, one who becomes fully devoted to me, that person is actually self-realized soul. Tasya pradnya pratishtita. So this is a wonderful glorification of bhakti. You can see it's coming that way. Although we said Prabhupada's strategy is, no matter what the context is, Prabhupada speaks in terms of bhakti yoga. So for Prabhupada, this is not first drop of bhakti. For Prabhupada, he has already started doing that before also. But from the Bhagavad Gita's text flow, you can see here is a direct word, Matparaha, being devoted to me. Krishna is telling, without being devoted to me, trying to control mind and senses is like disaster, like Vishwamitra, how he, only when he took to process of bhakti, then we see that he became a great soul, pure devotee of Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, why, if you look at the placement of these verses, 58, 59, 60 and 61,
Yeah.
why is 60 coming here? It should be before 58, logically.
Yeah. So that's a very nice question. Why is 61 coming now? Very good. Why is that, Prabhu? Because what Krishna does is, as I said, he is explaining here process Sthita Pradnya some issue there? Okay. Sthita Prajna, Prabhu, one who is a self-realized soul, right? So self-realized soul, he is speaking this particular candidate for path of Nishkam Karma Yoga also, for path of Bhakti Yoga also, for path of Jnana Yoga also. This is like a common characteristic of all the paths. So that's why when he is beginning, he is beginning with general characteristics. But within that general characteristics, when the question of how does he control his senses come, that's when he brings up this topic. That the real sense control is not possible without actually becoming devoted to me. Otherwise, what is there? Previously when it was asked, okay, what's the definition of a self-realized soul? So he said the definition of self-realized soul is somebody who is given up all desires for sense gratification. And such a person has a fixed intelligence in the spiritual subject matter. So this is a generic definition. Now he goes deeper into when can this be accomplished. So you see, Bhakti Yogi in this, like these characteristics of self-realized soul, the best example of such a self-realized soul is Bhakti Yogi. The other examples are also like the Jnana Yogi or Ashtanga Yogi, but those are very difficult paths. It's not that easy. So Krishna qualifies by speaking about this particular verse over here, because in general he is speaking the Sthita Prajna's qualification. He has taken a generic understanding. You understand? He is not speaking per se only about Bhakti Yoga here. Otherwise he would have begun like that. But here we are talking about anybody who has perfected the path of either Nishkam Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. All of them can be called Sthita Prajna. So those all Sthita Prajnas, he begins like that, this way. Krishna, like pure devotee of Krishna, is one specific kind of Sthita Prajna who is considered to be the highest amongst them. So that's why you can see he is not talking right in the beginning. Yeah.
So my question was slightly different. I understand what you said.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking about verse 60, Prabhu.
Yeah.
There's one verse before that.
Yeah.
So 60, the verse says that like a wind, your senses can make you, the senses are as strong as, very strong like a wind. Now, logically, so you're saying that senses can,
Drive away the mind.
Then comes the solution, which is kurma. Then comes a little specific solution. After kurma is basically you engage in higher taste. How do you engage in higher taste? Bhakti. So why is 60 coming after 59?
Yeah. See, it's like this. Like Krishna has also his own way of speaking. Although you may get a certain theme of the verse, but how Krishna speaks is sometimes he also has his way of speaking. Like how he has done is, the higher taste will only help you to give up the lower taste. That's what is spoken in 59. And if the higher taste is not there, then what will happen? If the higher taste is not there, then what will happen? That he has spoken in 60. And then he comes back to that. So that's why, what's the best way to develop higher taste? Matpara. So like that he is speaking, So sometimes he has his own thought process also to speak. Yes. All right. So that's why this is what is the most important word in this verse? Matparaha. Matparaha. You become devoted to me. That's the best way to control mind and senses. So see, I am not getting into detailed process of Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. I will take that like as we go ahead in the next paths, description of paths. But even a Jnana Yogi and Ashtanga Yogi, even that person has to perform little bhakti. Otherwise those paths independent of bhakti cannot give perfection. So they have to mix bhakti. That's why this matpara is applicable even for them. अगर ज्ञान योगी ऐसा बोलता है कि कृष्णा से मुझे कुछ लेना देना नहीं, मेरे लिए तो ब्रह्मन, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि सोहम, if he says like that, so what about Krishna? Well, I don't have anything to do with Krishna. So can such a jnana yogi attain Brahman? Impossible, he cannot attain. So finally the goal of jnana yogi also Krishna controls it. So Krishna says, if you are going to have misconceptions, how will I allow you to go beyond the material world? You can't have misconception about me. So even a Jnana Yogi has to have a proper understanding of Krishna. He may not chant holy name like us. He may not serve Krishna. But if he says to Krishna that Krishna's form is Maya, finished. He cannot attain Brahman also. That's why the Mayavadis, can they attain Brahman? They can never attain Brahman. All their life they keep on speaking about Brahman, but they never attain Brahman. Because they think that Krishna's form is Maya. That is a Mayavadi. And impersonalist or Brahmavadi is a different person. He also likes that Brahman feature, but he never considers Krishna as Maya. This is the difference between two people. So Shankaracharya's philosophy is Mayavad, but the four Kumaras, you know four Kumaras, they are Brahmavadis. They are not Mayavadis. Seeing Krishna, they will not say that, well, this is Maya, this is material form. Those are Mayavadis. Brahmavadis and Mayavadis, ahead it's coming, that time you will discuss in detail. But what I want to tell you is, Matparaha here refers to all three paths. They have to be devoted in Krishna in the way that at least they have to accept Krishna's transcendental personality. If a yogi has this misconception that, well, Bhagwan's form is material, it is not conventional as we talked about, it's not transcendental, that yogi can never achieve Paramatma. It is impossible, because his misconception is there. So these yogis, these jnanis, they also have proper understanding of Krishna. It's just that they may not be serving Krishna like the devotees do. For us, pleasure of Krishna is all in all. For them, Krishna is somebody who is controlling the material world and he's a transcendental person, but they are not interested in him. They are interested in a feature called as, which feature the Jnana Yogi is interested in out of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan? Jnana Yogi. We talked about the goal of Jnana Yogis yesterday. What is the goal of Jnana Yogis? You see? Sayujya Mukti. So what is that? Merging in Brahman. The yogis have Paramatma as their goal, not the jnanis. Jnanis, basically, they want to merge in Brahman. So as I said, I'll take the yoga ladder. So don't worry if you are not getting the full understanding yet, because that topic is coming. One path I will tell you what exactly is the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, so that you can see that clear-cut ladder, which path is higher, which path is lower. This way. Here we are just seeing the symptoms of self-realized souls, and in that we have seen this up to third symptom, which is not the third aspect, that how does he restrict his senses, right? So I think we should proceed now. So Krishna here, Prabhupada ji, he speaks again here about Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, because Ambarish was Matparaha, while Durvasa Muni, he was more like an Ashtanga yogi. While Maharaj Ambarish was a pure devotee of Krishna, Shuddha Bhakta. So that's why we see that Maharaj Ambarish, he was like so humble and such a pure devotee that even Durvasa had to finally fall at his feet and beg forgiveness when he offended. The word Matpara is most significant in this connection. 1 minute, Prabhu will complete this. How one can become Matpara is described in life of Maharaj Ambarish. What is the way? So this is the way. How he engaged all his senses in Krishna's service. This is Bhagavatam. Savay manah Krishna padaravinda yor. Basically, he engaged all his senses in Krishna's service. His legs, by his legs he walked to the temple. By his hands he served the devotees. By his eyes he saw the beautiful form of Krishna. By his nose he smelled the tulsi. By his ears he heard the Krishna Katha. So that's the way to become Matpara, Prabhupada is saying. Like that. Yes, Prabhu, you want to say something?
Matpara, I mean, is it not absolute bhakti? This relationship with me, that's the meaning of Matpara.
Yeah.
So then why, this one, is it not making it absolutely clear that bhakti is the only path that you're going to take? Or bhakti is the only path through which you can control your senses?
See, Krishna, he does say that actually bhakti is the most powerful path to control your senses. That's the best path to control. But does he say that that's the only path to control senses? No, he doesn't say that in Bhagavad Gita. It's the greatest path, it's the easiest path, it's the most powerful. But there are these paths of jnana, yoga. There also they talk about the aspect of sense control, mind control and all. But it is not that easy. And why it is not easy? What's the reason? We talked about param drishtva nivartate. The higher taste is not there. But still those paths also are bona fide paths. Krishna has invested some power in them. So you see that by that power they are able to also, with a great struggle, then come to that level. So that's why I said I will explain the yoga ladder in detail, Prabhu. That time then you can understand each one of those paths up to what far level they can take you. So they can help you achieve sense control and all that. Not that easy, but they can help you to achieve. But in that process, if they have misconception about Krishna, then they cannot do it. Then they cannot even achieve sense control and these goals also that way. So at least they should have clarity about that Krishna's form is Satchidananda, it's a Chinmaya Swarupa, it's not some material form, it's not Maya Shabalitam, it's not mixed with Maya, the material form, that idea. But Matparaha is a characteristic of devotees, no doubt. They are the ones who are fully devoted, Matparaha. But there is some aspect of this in other paths also. That's called a Mishran of Bhakti. And that we will see in the other processes when we detailed see those processes. Alright, let's go ahead. So how does, finally Krishna ends this discussion by speaking about how does fall down take place. This whole process of, mind trying to concentrate on certain sense objects and then getting slowly contaminated. So what is the mechanism of fall down? Krishna has spoken in 2 verses, 62 and 63. How does one, patan kaise hota hai? How does one fall? How does a sadhaka who is practicing a path of bhakti or jnana or yoga, how does he fall? So why is this discussion there? So that we know this pitfall, that this is how it begins. We will be conscious, precaution is being given. So Krishna is ending with that because the discussion is pertaining about how does he restrict his senses. Kim asit? Kaise baithta hai? How does he sit? So Krishna says that finally understand, if you don't control your mind and senses with proper process, then you will end up falling from the process of bhakti or falling from the process of jnana or yoga. So what's the mechanism of fall down? This is the mechanism of fall down. Text 62 together. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bhijayate. Yes.
While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises.
Alright, we'll recite next verse also and then see the discussion. Krodhat bhavati sammohah, sammohat smriti vibhramah, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashad pranashyati.
From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material heap.
Yeah, thank you. So you can say this is said to be the mechanism of fall down, right? So, yeah, I'm just showing it here now. I have shared this PPT with you, so you can also go through this. Process of fall down, okay? Dhyayato vishayan pumsah. See, when somebody, the mind contemplates on the objects of the senses, when within the mind, when somebody starts contemplating on objects of the senses, So the whole thing is beginning by dhyan, dhyayato. See, in this world, when you come across various sense objects, like eyes may see something which is not healthy for a sadhaka, or the ears may hear something which is not healthy for a sadhaka. Seeing is not the issue. Because when you walk down the street or when you drive down the street, it's not we are going to close our eyes, right? Like Ajamila, he saw that Shudra and Shudrani embracing. So he saw that was not the problem. The problem was? He contemplated, very nice. He contemplated on it. Oh, that Shudra and Shudrani embracing, how happy they were. What if I make her into my wife? How happy I will. So this contemplation began, So Krishna is telling the first step in the fall down is contemplation. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. See, Krishna is not saying pashyato vishayan pumsa. It is dhyayato. Pashyato means seeing. Seeing the objects of sense. No. Contemplating on the objects of the sense. Because seeing is unavoidable practically, isn't it? आंखें बंद करके चल सकता है कोई? चल सकता है, लेकिन उसका क्या होगा मालूम नहीं, right? Where he will go, we don't know. So contemplating the senses, the objects of the senses. So you may see a certain thing, or you may hear about certain thing. You may smell a certain thing. But problem is when your mind starts contemplating on that. That's the issue. So what happens by that? Attachment develops. Sangas teshu pajayate. Teshu vishayeshu sanga upajayate. What happens is the mind becomes extremely attached to that object then, because of contemplation, right? Contemplation again and again and again, right? Like somebody sees some casino or something, imagine, and then he feels like, my God, I can make so much money. Why should I work hard if I can make so much money? Money. So he becomes so attached. Attachment now. Now he wants to do it. It's not going to just remain a thought now. Like that. So that's attachment. Dhyayato vishan pumsaha sanga steshu pajayate. So sanga is the attachment. In Sanskrit, sanga means attachment. It can also mean association. Here it means attachment. So from that sangat sanjayate kamaha. From such a sanga, from such attachment, what develops is kama. Now it will become into a flagrant, fiery desire to attain that thing. I can't now just, I'm not happy contemplating. What I want to do now? I want to get it. I'm going to somehow or other take that thing. So whether that sense objects means a vishaya, like a lusty man, for him woman is a vishaya. For a man behind money, the money is the vishaya. For a glutton who is ready to eat anything, for him the food is the, vishaya. You can understand? Vishaya means different things, all this different. So the lust is basically that fiery desire that I want it. I am going to take it. It's not a, you can say, innocuous kind of attraction. No. It's a very fiery desire. No, I must have it. I have. Like how Ravana was kami, right? Kama means like he wanted Sita, Oh, another man's wife, a Supreme Lord's wife. No, still he wants her. So that's called lust, madness. So kamat krodho bhi jayate. If lust is unfulfilled, anger arises. So kama is such a strong desire. From kama comes krodha. Why does krodha come? If somebody says, well, you cannot have that object, then you feel, who in the world told I cannot have? I want to have. So krodha, like that, Or if one does not get it, he's hankering and he's not getting it, then his anger goes on increasing. Why? How can I not get? I must get. Like even happened that with Ravana also, right? when he was told that you return Sita, he said, why? Why should I return Sita? Who is Ram? I have conquered so many. Nobody can stop me. So that kama turning into krodha is when there is some obstacle to kama. So either it can mean that somebody is questioning your kama, or it can mean you are not able to get kama that quickly as you probably would have desired. So then it makes you angry. Why am I not getting it? Why am I not getting it? Kamat krodho bhijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Then that krodha, it causes complete delusion. One becomes blinded. You have heard this word kamandha. Kamandha, meaning one who is blinded by lust. Krodandha, one who is blinded by krodha, anger. Like people become angry. When they become angry, they become blind, right? Not like they lose the sight, but you will do something under sway of anger, which is like practically one will feel like, was he blind or what? Abominable things, yeah. लोग बोलते हैं ना, अंधा हो गया वो, क्रोध से अंधा हो गया. Like in anger, somebody may just for a small mistake kill somebody. Right? Like in Western world, we hear that somebody honked a horn.
Road rage.
Road rage. You honked a horn. Pap, 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 pap. वो बाहर आके, like that. Now this is such a rage, right? I mean, you kill somebody because he has honked a horn. You can honk 3 times. If he has honked 1 time, or you can chastise him. But what is this? Killing a person. That's krodha, which has gone completely beyond beyond the proportion to complete delusion. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Pura complete delusion. Person loses all the sense. So krodha we should control. It's not good. See, kama is mode of passion. Krodha is mode of ignorance. Tamoguna. So kama is passion actually. Krodha is even deadlier. It is tamoguna because it will destroy the things. Anger, we know, when people become angry, what do? They destroy the things, right? They will break something, they will, right? Sometimes they have the phone, they will smash the phone, and that's iPhone sometimes. And then they later lament, my God, I broke the iPhone this way. Or they break the TV out of anger. India-Pakistan match. Pakistan lost. They'll bring and they'll break the TV. Next day morning, then they are lamentful. What did we do? This way. They have to pay the EMI. Then they are further angry. So complete delusion. Sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhrama. This is one important. Sammohat smriti vibhrama. What does that mean? When mind is deluded because of that anger, then smriti vibhrama, whatever good counsel we have heard, no, we forget that. You might have heard a lot of Shastra, but if you become angry and you lose that sense, deluded, sammoha, then you will not remember also. I heard so much Shastra. Prabhuji was telling in Bhagavad Gita class that day. And he was saying the danger of anger. Sab bhul gaye. Why? That's how it happens. This is the process of fall down. If you contemplate on the objects of senses, देखो सब कहाँ शुरू हो रहा है? Contemplating on the objects of senses, one develops attachment for them. From attachment kama, from kama krodha, from krodha delusion, from delusion the bewilderment of memory. So you may have heard a lot of Shastra also, but still you may forget. This is how it is. Even when sense objects of this world come, even Ajamila had heard a lot of Shastra, He was a Brahmana and he had heard so much of knowledge he had of Shastra and all. And in fact, it is told when he saw that sight of Shudra and Shudrani embracing, he even started to memorize some Gita verses. He started to yatato hyapi kaunteya purushascha vipaschita indriyani pramatini haranti prasabam mana. and then still he is looking there. I mean, he is not still able to leave the attachment, because dhyayato, he should have at once left that place and gone back immediately to ashram and taken the shelter of the Lord or holy name or like that. But he went on contemplating on that, went on, and then all his Shastra memory and all disappeared, And then he said, where is that prostitute? I want to bring her to home. So his beautiful devoted wife, he drove her out and he brought the prostitute home. Ajamila. That's the story of Ajamila, 6th canto of Bhagavatam, you know that. So you can see what a delusion like that. Complete bewilderment of memory that happened. So, sammohat smriti vibhrama, that's the 6th one. Smriti bhramshad buddhinasho. So then you can imagine, right? All buddhinash. One will do such abominable activity that whole world will be aghast to see what's going on, how is this person acting? Finished. Intelligence is lost. Buddhinashat pranashyati prakrishta rupena nashyati. Nashyati means he is destroyed. Pranashyati means he is completely destroyed. Like such a person is, it's a deadly fall down. One is falling from an exalted position, falls down into material pool. So we have to be careful in the process of bhakti also. See, every sadhaka here is being warned by Krishna that don't take senses to be very lightly. Don't think that, I think my senses are now in perfect control. How many years you are chanting? Last year I began. Acha, perfect control. Right? Impossible. It takes years actually to be a really devoted, sincere devotee. Even now our senses sometimes, we may become suddenly envious of somebody, we may become angry, we may become, right? All these anarthas may come. Some amount of greed may be there still in us. Pride is certainly there. Pride is not easy to give up. So we have to be also careful. Not like we become paranoid, but the point is Krishna is giving a warning. Don't contemplate on the objects of the senses. Even if you come across some sense object, just leave that thought. Fill the mind with Krishna. Fill the mind with some positive Krishna consciousness. Even if you heard some blasphemy of somebody, and don't try contemplating on that. Don't try take interest in gossip. Prabhuji, you know what happened? Sometimes a lot of gossip goes on, right? It's not good in devotee circle. Have you heard what happened? I was thinking. Right? This sort of thing. This gossiping is not good amongst the devotees. Absolutely. You see somebody gossiping, then you better change the topic to Krishna consciousness. You can say, Prabhu, let's discuss something positive. Why to gossip about Vaishnavas and all that? It's like a poison that spreads that way. So I'm sure all of us are sincere sadhakas, not like we do these things deliberately. But sometimes we may be off guard. And then you see some communities, sometimes a lot of misunderstanding develops on certain issues and all. Here you are very fortunate to have, wonderful leaders, and they have trained you so well that all the devotees are together. But we want to protect this culture. We want to protect this legacy. So then Krishna is telling here that we have to be very careful, especially on these aspects. So for years, gossip is that sense object. Dhyayato vishayan bumsa, right? So for years, some undesirable sight may be a sense object. For eyes, But for years, what is the sense object? Gossip, blasphemy, these are prajalpa, these are the sense objects. So as soon as one sees some prajalpa going on, they say prajalpa lounge. Sometimes in temple there is a prajalpa lounge. You know that the people there are always doing prajalpa. And you go there, you join the lounge. like that. Like sometimes even in japa, right, you see in the morning, some corner, some devotees are like holding the japa and they're chit-chatting. What happened? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, what happened yesterday? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare. Yeah, I was going there and all these devotees said, yeah, he always speaks like this, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, he spoke to me also, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna. You know? That's the Prajalpa lounge. You know? So beware of Prajalpa lounge.
Just saying in Hindi, Prabhu. So, Paraninda Saman Sukh Nahi.
Exactly. Yes. Paraninda Saman Sukh Nahi. For a conditioned soul, for a Baddha Jiva, there is no greater happiness than Paraninda. Like that. But a Vaishnava is actually, he is very happy to glorify others. See, there are two entities. One is bee, the honey bee, and another is the house fly or a fly. So where does the honey bee go and sit? Flowers, and brings beautiful honey. And where is this fly go? Where does she go and sit? Garbage, dirty substances. So similarly, there is bee mentality and there is fly mentality. We should see what is our mentality. What does that mean? Critic. Yeah, one who is criticizing. Welcome. Yeah, exactly. So, same. Tukaram Maharaj also says, Nindaka che ghara asave shezari. He says exactly same. The Nindaka should be your neighbor actually, he should be next to you. So, he can be next to you and let him do Ninda, but you don't do. Okay. I mean, he may do your Ninda and then you can take it seriously and improve. Yeah. But the bee versus fly. So, we should not be flies, we should be bees. You see good quality, you glorify. You see bad quality, you say, I don't have anything to do with it. Krishna will take care of it. Who am I? Paramatma? आपको किसने परमात्मा बनाया? Right? Krishna will take care. And you see something bad, we don't want to associate. And it's a fact, if you associate with too many bad qualities, it will come in you. If you critique people too much, soon you will see that all those qualities have come in you. And if you appreciate Vaishnavas, you will see those qualities also come in you. So purely for selfish reasons, you can appreciate Vaishnavas. Because you will get all those wonderful qualities in you. This way. So contemplation on the sense object, you see, it's so important. We don't want to, lose the Krishna consciousness because of, getting into this. So you see how much Krishna is speaking, right? This is such a wisdom. Every word is like that. We are trying to finish this chapter, but it's going on and on and on. You must be thinking this is like Hanuman's tale and not ending only, Prabhu, what's going on? But that's how actually, that's the wisdom of Gita. It is like so much is there in that, That's why Krishna says one scripture, Ekam Shastram, Devaki Putra Gitam. If you understand this one scripture perfectly, this will also give all perfection. Provided you have that deep insight in it. That way. So, that's it. That's the last.
There should be one benediction, Prabhuji, whenever we discuss about Bhagavad Gita, the clock should not move.
The clock should stop when Bhagavad Gita is being discussed. When it was originally being discussed, that time also Krishna didn't stop. People sometimes say like that Krishna stopped the clock. No, nothing like that. Yes, clock flowed certainly. It's just that everybody was hearing Bhagavad Gita. Everybody heard, but they didn't understand it like the way Arjuna understood it. That way. And it is said that Krishna spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita in less than 1 hour. Sometimes they say 45 minutes. Yeah, the scholars say that just 1 hour he spoke Bhagavad Gita. Amazing, no? It's like little achintya. How can we recite Bhagavad Gita on the Gita Jayanti day and it takes about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours it takes. But he spoke that fast. This is transcendental person. It's not like something which is very materially calculated on this way. So that's how. So Prabhupada is explaining in this purports, these two purports, that how we see that, I wanted to explain this because this is important. He gives two examples like Lord Shiva, and he gives the example of Haridas Thakur. So he says Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, but when Parvati agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal, and as a result Kartikeya was born. But when this Acharya Haridas Thakur, he was also simply allured by Maya Devi, but he never ever fell to her proposal. He passed the test. So now somebody will say, how is that Lord Shiva is being compared to Haridas Thakur, right? Lord Shiva is Ishvara himself. He is not different than the Supreme Lord. It's just that he is taken that Gunavatar role. Otherwise he is Ishvara himself. And Haridas Thakur is actually a devotee. He is not Lord himself, right? So, but then we see that Prabhupada is saying such a thing in the purport. So understand the thrust of it. Prabhupada is comparing actually two paths. Lord Shiva, he shows or he represents the path of yoga. He is also known as Yogeshwara sometimes, right? So Lord Shiva, he represents the path of yoga, and Haridas Thakur is representing the path of bhakti. So it's a comparison between the paths, not so much between the personalities. Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He is the greatest Vaishnava. He is said to be not different from the Lord in the sense that, both of them are actually, they love each other so much. They Paraspara Nuti Priyo. Sridhar Swami says that Lord Shiva and Krishna are Paraspara Nuti Priyo. When Shiva sees that somebody is offering obeisances to Krishna and loving Krishna, he becomes so happy. And when Krishna sees that somebody is offering obeisances to Lord Shiva and serving Lord Shiva, he becomes so happy. Paraspara Nuti Priyo. So there, we know that. And Lord Shiva in fact is glorified as Param Vaishnava. He is actually a devotee of Lord Krishna or Lord Rama. Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Mano Rame Sahasranama Stattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. What is Shiva chanting always? Rama, Rama, Rama. And he says one name of Rama is like 1,000 names of Vishnu. Sahasranama Stattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. And similarly, another scripture says that 3 names of Rama equal to 1 name of Krishna. Chanting 1 name of Krishna is like chanting 3 times Rama, 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 So it's like such, these names are so wonderful. 1 name of Rama is like 1,000 names of Vishnu. Sahasra, Nama Tattulyam. So of course all these are transcendental names. Somebody chants Vishnu, Narayana, somebody chants Rama, somebody chants Krishna. Wonderful. These are all transcendental names of the Lord. This way. But still in those names also Shastra sometimes does some comparison. Because the names also are of those personalities which have, you can say, greater sweetness in them, greater aspects of those devotional nourishment this way. So there is some taratamya there also. Indeed it is there. And Shastra speaks it. Vishnu Puran speaks it straight away. Like that. It's just that it has to be understood in proper spirit. So you understand, Prabhupada is not saying that Lord Shiva, Haridas Thakur is greater than Lord Shiva. What he means to say here? The paths. The path of Bhakti Yoga is greater than the path of Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. That's what he means to say. Otherwise we know all Lord Shiva, he was agitated by Parvati and then Kartikeya was born because that was the service. Kartikeya was needed as the commander-in-chief of the Devata army. Otherwise who can agitate Lord Shiva? He is a Dhira. So he knew that desire of the Devatas and he knew the desire of Supreme Lord that I should produce a child Kartikeya. So that's why he accepted the proposal. Otherwise Shiva is Dhira actually. He is great. Lord Shivji or Shankara, Shivji, Bhagwan, Shivji. So that's the point. So that's it. So that's why we have to be careful on the path of bhakti. We should make sure that we are careful and we don't allow our mind to contemplate on the things. Contemplation is the problem. It all begins with the contemplation. So don't give much chance to contemplate. Instead, contemplate on something positive. Contemplate on service, contemplate on Gita, Bhagavatam, philosophy of Krishna consciousness, this way. So that completes the answer to the third question. What was the third question?
How we walk.
How does he walk? That was the third? It's becoming too much, I think, for you. How does he sit? How does he restrict the senses? And then the last one, what's the fourth question? How does he walk? How does he engage his senses? Let's hear this. That's it. Ragadvesha vimuktaistu Vishayan indriyaischcharan Atmavashair vidheyatma Prasadam adhigacchati. Yes.
But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord.
Yeah. So Krishna says, now Krishna is speaking that how this person act in this world. So he says, how does he act? He acts with senses, indriyaihi, which are free from raga dvesha vimuktaistu. And they are free from attachment and aversion. Atmavashair, they are controlled by the mind, or they are controlled by the buddhi, intelligence. So, very interestingly, Prabhupada in the purport, he is saying that, or rather translation itself, regulative principles of freedom. See, when you talk about regulation, it is exactly opposite of freedom.
Yeah.
So when he says regulative principles of freedom, it appears like a oxymoron. Yeah, it appears like contradictory completely. They call it oxymoron. Like if you say Pila Nilambar, you say the yellow Nilambar. What does that mean? Nilambar itself means blue cloth, and yellow blue cloth. It will not make any sense, right? It will look like it's completely self-contradictory, oxymoron. So, regulative principles of freedom. So, when we follow bhakti process and we follow some regulative principles, people say, "Arey, you people are living like slaves, you have to follow such restriction." We see we are free birds. You should be free birds. Why you are restricting? No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. No. They will say like that, right? We live the life of freedom, So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati used to say, one time one child was playing on the terrace. And he was playing the ball on the terrace. So terrace has the wall, right? What they call it? Parapet wall? Parapet wall, yeah. So when he was playing ball, so then he would come towards the wall and then he's restricted there. So he's told father, "My dear father, why are you restricting me? Remove these walls. Give me complete freedom to play." So he is saying, remove the parapet walls of terrace so that he can play ball without restriction, So should the father remove?
No.
Why? Freedom, no. He should get the freedom to play.
He's getting the freedom to play because there is a parapet.
Wow, what a statement. Wonderful. He is getting the freedom to play because there are the walls. If the walls are removed, he will fall and he will lose the freedom permanently. पैर टूट गए उसके, अभी खेलो, क्या खेलेगा? So when you have the walls, actually there is a freedom for you to play. If you remove those walls, it may appear like, yes, the child is free now, finished, his freedom will be finished. So similarly, Shastras tell us that these principles where we control, or rather we get rid of sinful life By putting ourselves in that fencing, we are actually making our life free. If you remove those principles and break free and say that, well, I am free, I can do whatever I want. You may do whatever you want, but then you will be bound by the sinful reactions, by the material nature. So literally by avoiding sin, actually we are living a free life. By doing those sins, are you making yourself free or you are binding yourself further? You are binding yourself further. So regulative principles that we have in Bhakti, they are not curbing our freedom, they are actually enhancing our freedom. That way. Just like fencing or parapet walls, when they are there, so we can see that the person will be safe. Yes, Prabhu?
Is an example appropriate where a cow is tied to a pole with a rope and it can go within that circumference?
Yeah, see that's an example which is called as unlimited freedom over a limited framework. That's the example. So that example is given, Prabhu, to tell you the aspect of karma. That's an example for karma. So karma allows you a certain freedom, but it's on a limited platform. Like you can choose your career by your previous karma. It's not destined whether you will be engineer or doctor or what. You can choose your career, but certain things you cannot choose. They are destined. Like the amount of money that you will earn is in a way destined. You may earn a huge money, but if you are not destined, you will lose it also. Like somebody may earn a huge money, but if he is not destined, such a person, then you see that he may get some disease or something and lose all the money. It's possible. So certain things like amount of money, Shastras say, or the happiness quota, the distress quota, the kind of body that you will have, these things are actually a little bit ordained by the karma. In next chapter we'll speak about that karma aspect. It's coming. So I'll speak there in detail on this. But you see, that's called, Prabhu? Karma, yeah. Unlimited freedom on a limited framework. So here also the concept is more from the regulative principles of freedom, that when we follow these principles, don't ever think that it's not a deprivation. It's actually, it's not deprivation, it is basically saving ourselves from those sinful limits. Once you go beyond that, it's a sinful life. So we follow no meat eating, we don't eat meat, eggs or such things. Why? Because that is against the principle of ahimsa. Even the plants that we have, Kapila Muni says in 3rd canto that nati himsena, we perform minimum violence. The plants that we eat and all that, even there also, it's not like certain himsa in this world will happen, but as a human being we are allowed something. So within that we should keep. Eating animals is not allowed for the humans. I mean, it's allowed, but then it is sinful. It's not considered to be punya. It's papa actually. So that's how. So same way the other activities also. Striyam, Dyutam, Panam, all this Bhagavatam explains. That's what Prabhupada has given as 4 regulative principles. So that's how. Krishna is telling how does such a person walk. So point is, he walks by accepting the regulative principles of freedom. He will allow his senses to act, but unrestrictedly or with regulation. The question is what? The question is, how does a sthita pragya walk? How does a sthita pragya engage his senses? So Krishna begins by answering, he engages his senses by accepting a regulation. You got it? How it is connected? You engage the senses by accepting a regulation. Like you tell me, do we all eat or not?
Yes.
But what's the regulation?
Offer, prasad.
Krishna prasad, that's it. Krishna prasad is the regulation. We will not eat anything without offering Krishna. So that's a regulation, like that. Similarly, take any other aspects. Are the devotees allowed to earn money or not?
Yes.
They are. But then what's the regulation? They should give it in Krishna's service, but before that, one more very important thing. How are they supposed to earn? Legally. They are supposed to earn in a legal manner, in a dharmic manner, not taking some occupation which is outrightly sinful. हाँ? क्या करते हो प्रभु जी? हाँ, मैं कसिनो चलाता हूँ लास वेगास में. If somebody says like that, I run casinos in Las Vegas or something, you will say, "Arey, Prabhu, what is this?" No, this is not what we accept. This is a regulation here. So you take an honest occupation which is not outrightly sinful. Like in Kali Yuga, occupations also, they are like little complex. Sometimes we may be making a software to, for a slaughterhouse to run or something like that. Like when I was working, then I had to work on a client which was a US client, and then they were into slaughterhouse industry. So then I told my manager that, see, I'm sorry, but because of my religious beliefs, I can't work on this project. So he said, come on, no, it's a very big client, you can't do like this. So I said, no, please, you tell me. So the matter went on to finally where he said, no, Kuldeep, you have to work, it has to be. So then I went to the further manager and I said, see, you understand, try to understand. I am not saying no to the work, but I can't work on something which is that specific. So then the senior manager he was a devoted person. And then he said, you change his project. So I didn't have to work that. So I am saying, not that sometimes it may not be practical also. Material world is a very complex place, right? But at least we try. We try to keep our occupation pure, and we also try to keep it. Then the second point, as you said, we want to give some certain portion for Krishna's service also. Whatever. Charity, charity which is transcendental rather. This is not Sattvic Dhanam. This will be Shuddha Sattvic Dhanam if you give it for Krishna. Sattvic is for some good cause, So that's how. So that's the regulative aspect there. So you take anything like that in our life, this way. A devotee can marry, but then yes, he has to remain honest within the marriage, and he can have children which are wonderful devotees. Why not? That is a grahastha ashram, which is a proper bona fide ashram. So for everything there is a proper regulation aspect. We don't live like karmis who are just behind sense enjoyment, nothing that way. So Krishna is beginning with that. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rasyopajayate prasanna chetasho hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. Yes, please read.
For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established.
Yeah. So we see that somebody who is in this way living with the life of regulative principles of freedom, such a person, he prasadam adhigacchati, he receives the mercy of the Lord, he receives the mercy of the dharma, and that mercy is further being spoken here. And once somebody receives that mercy of the Lord in that way, because of living a life of regulation very clearly, so then we see that sarva dukkhanam hani, all the miseries, they are uprooted. See, what is the root cause of suffering in this world? As per Shastra, the root cause of suffering in this world is sin. You have sin, it will lead you to the suffering. Like that. So that's why one should first of all get the sin out from one's own life. Sin should be removed. Now once sin is removed, still some suffering may be there in our life because it may be coming from previous karma that we have, prarabdha phalam, prarabdha. You will learn these concepts in detail in Bhakti Sindhu. So it may, but then soon we see that if the life becomes free from sin, then actually the misery or the distress starts going away from the life. It will be minimal actually. More this life is sinful, then we see the suffering or distress is there. So because this is a self-realized soul, so he has gotten rid of all the miseries of his life. Prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishthate. Such a person's intelligence becomes fully established. Nasti buddhira yuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutha sukham. Yes.
Who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace?
Yeah. So that's what. So the point is this, that somebody whose intelligence is not fixed, somebody whose Prabhupada says he is not connected in Krishna consciousness with a steady intelligence or a mind. So you see here Krishna is speaking very much about that aspect of the mind. How does he walk? So his mind should be actually steady. His mind is too much into sense gratification, contemplation and all, then it's a problem. So if the mind or the intelligence, if it is not established, then na cha yuktasya bhavana. What will such a person, what sort of happiness, what sort of joy of Krishna consciousness such a person will have? These words can be discussed also in little bit detail also, but yeah, basically you understand the basic meaning over here. If somebody's mind is not in control, there is no question of any spiritual emotions or like that. And then if they are not there, there is no shanti. Material emotions means there will be no shanti, there will be full of ashanti, it will be, mind will be agitated. And ashantasya kutha sukham. Krishna says if somebody is not even peaceful, can he be happy?
No.
Between happiness and peacefulness, which is more fundamental?
Peace.
Peace is fundamental. And then comes the happiness, right? If you imagine there is no peace only, and then you say, are you happy? He said, give me some shanti, forget about sukha. Right? Sometimes people come in temple and we say to him, why do you come to temple? Meaning just striking conversation. Then they say, Swamiji, Prabhuji, yahan pe shanti lagta hai. Like that. So I said, do you want happiness or do you want shanti? So he said, Swamiji, पहले थोड़ी शांति मिल जाए. हाँ, बोले घर में अशांति चल रही है, they will say थोड़ा शांति मिल जाए. So then we will think about happiness like that. So yes, actually shanti is the basis, right? Then happiness further. So in bhakti there is so much joy, we see that shanti is already included in it, like that. So in bhakti, in our temples you will not find shanti, but you will find a lot of sukha, a lot of happiness. Like one time one boy came to me and said, Prabhuji, I was trying to sit in temple hall, but that devotee who is playing wampers, wamper, big kartal, da 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 da. He said, there is no shanti in the temple, So I said, so then again this shanti and sukha, ashantasya kutha sukham. So I said, if you also participate in that, you will get sukham. You want shanti or sukha? So he said shanti, but if the sukha, the happiness is there, I will be very delighted. So then we took him to kirtan and pushed him in dancing, and then soon he was like dancing like anything. And he said, yeah, actually previously I was searching for some shanti, but I am happy to get the happiness of joy, bhakti, joy of bhakti, like that. So in bhakti we are not for peace so much, we are for the happiness of service. See, sometimes in service our peace may be gone, but are we happy, peaceful without service? What do you want? Peaceful without service, or not so much peaceful with service? So devotee will prefer थोड़ा शांति भंग हो गया तो चलेगा, लेकिन सेवा दे दो. Because when you take some big service, imagine you have a big responsibility, then the mind also has to be engaged, no? Then you have anxiety. Oh my God, I have to do this. Like you have to run some Jagannath Rath Yatra program or like that. Like Prabhuji, he organizes Jagannath Rath Yatra program. So it's a big responsibility, right? So you may be in anxiety. So somebody may say, Are, I came to Bhakti, they told me chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So that being happy is with the service. It's not being peaceful. No seva, shanti, shanti, shanti. If you want that kind of shanti, 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 then you go to Soham meditation. Soham. And they will talk about shanti, shanti, shanti. But we don't want shanti, we want what? Service. Yeah. So if that service brings joy, very nice. Sometimes service may bring anxiety also. Even that anxiety is a joy actually. If you are responsible and you are taking the service's whole load, it's a joy only. It's just that it is a joy which, little bit gives you anxiety. It's a, what you can say, like there is some example where they talk about something which is like amla. You take it, it is sour. But then when it's going inside, it becomes sweet. So bhakti, when you take responsibility, it is little bit like amla sometimes, because you have to put the mind, you have to, but then when you do it, it is like sweet. You taste it, appears so sweet. By the end of that service is done, devotees are happy, you feel so much joy, great satisfaction that today Vaishnavas became so happy. Initially you might have felt little anxiety that way. So we don't want shanti, we want seva. And if that seva gives us shanti, very nice. Even if it makes our life ashanta, no problem. We are okay with that. That's the good platform this way. So ashantasya kutah sukham. So sukham is seva. Seva sukha. Like that. It is even higher than shanti actually. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano no vidhiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavam evambhasi. Yes.
So strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water. Even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's senses.
Yeah, so here also Krishna is again warning us. How does he walk? Yeah, such a devotee, he should make sure that his senses, they don't run around. His senses and mind both are kept under proper control of bhakti. See, mind and senses, you have to understand the dynamic. Sometimes senses pull the mind, sometimes mind pulls the senses. And both of them make sure that they pull the soul down. Like sometimes senses pull you, meaning you are walking down the street and then you get this nose of some forbidden substance. It's a smell of forbidden substance. So nose is like, where is that? Like that, right? So now the senses have carried the mind. You understand? Or I see some billboard. The boss was so much upset. Today I have to go early and work. Hare Krishna. I have to go early and work. I have to go early. Like so now senses are properly engaged. Who is taking you away? Mind is taking away. So sometimes mind takes the senses away. Then you may like sometimes we chant also Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then somebody comes in and you hear some taktuka or some sound you may hear or like that. And then you're wondering, who must be there? And now who has come? And then you open the eyes and see. So now what has happened? The mind has taken you actually. The mind, you may be thinking something about and then the mind takes you. Or sometimes the senses take you. The ear, the sound they hear and then you go behind there. This way. So it all happens that way. Either mind can take you or senses can take you. Either way. That's why they should be kept under control. They should be kept under control by engaging them in the Krishna's service. Vayur navam imambasi, just as Krishna says, the wind can take away, the wind can sweep the boat on the water. Fast wind, similarly, either of them. Okay. Tasmadasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashah indriyarthani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita.
Therefore, O mighty arm, one whose senses are restrained from objects is certainly of heavy intelligence.
Yeah, so Krishna is concluding. He is saying, so that's what? One whose senses are completely controlled from the sense objects, one who is living with that kind of regulation, not getting into sinful life, such a person, his intelligence is under control. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune.
What is night for all beings is the time for awakening for the self-control, and the time for awakening for all beings is night for the
Introspective sage. So is Krishna speaking about time zone difference here? Night for all beings is the day for self-control, and that which is the day for the all beings is night for the introspective sage. What does he mean? Shreyas Payas, very good. Anything more? What is night for him is day for me, and what is day for me, that's night for him.
The whole world is going towards sense.
Wonderful. Yes. A night and day here is the field of interest. In night, what do? Sleep. In day, what do? Become active. So you see, this has a figurative meaning. It is actually also true, because devotees get up at 4 o'clock and the people, materialistic people, sleep at 4 o'clock. So literally also it is true. But Krishna is going beyond literal. He is taking a figurative meaning. When I was staying in the hostel, and I used to go from hostel to the base to attend Mangalarti. So we would get up at 3:30, and at that time some hostelites are coming out from outside. They have eaten and they are coming out to sleep, and we were ready to go to. So then that time I saw Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasya. But yeah, what Krishna means to say here is, see, that which is a delight for a sense enjoyer is a night for a yogi or for a self-realized soul. I mean, he does not take interest in that. And that which is the interest of yogi, that becomes the night for the materialist. Like they say, hey, what you people do? What pleasure you get in chanting Hare Krishna? And then we say, hey, what pleasure you get in watching movies? Right? Both are asking these questions to each other, like that. Like my that uncle was saying, "Tum din bhar karte kya ho mandir mein?" And I asked him, "What do you do in your house all day?" Then he one day came to my ashram, and then I made him, 2 days follow the morning program. I told you that story. So that's the point. Krishna is saying one field is one man's food is another man's poison, something like that. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. Yes, please read.
A person who is not disturbed by the
Incessant
flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires.
Yeah, so Krishna is giving a beautiful example. We should be like ocean. In ocean, so many rivers will come, but does the ocean cross its limit? No. Similarly, for a self-realized soul, the senses will, the sense objects will come. They are like waves of the rivers, but he never ever gets spilled. He never ever. The sights of the sense objects are being compared to the waves, and he remains still. He never ever is influenced by that. That's the point. That's all. Vihaya kaman yah sarvan pumansharati nispraha nirmamo nirahankarah sa shanti madikachati.
A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace.
Yeah, and that's the person actually. This is the self-realized soul, giving up all the sense gratificatory desires. That's how Krishna began also. Prajahati yada kaman. He's ending also like that. Vihaya kaman. So such a person can travel all over the world, nispraha, selflessly, free from all attachments, and he will attain the complete shanti, complete perfect peace, in fact happiness of bhakti. That's it. we can never become desireless. Can somebody become desireless? The Buddhists say, you have to get rid of all desires. That will give you nirvana. But to become desireless is also a desire. So when somebody says, you have to become desireless, so he becomes desireless, but there is one desire that remains. What is that? To become desireless. So can you ever become desireless? You can never become desireless. Prabhupada said, only stones are desireless. If you are a living man, if you are a living soul, you will have desires. So it's not a question of getting rid of desires. It is only a question of changing the quality of your desires. Change from sense gratification to service, to Krishna consciousness. That's real desirelessness is desire for satisfaction of Krishna, not an artificial attempt to abolish desires. Like that. So that's why Buddhists sometimes they will say, become free from desires, practice mauna. But then they will take a slate and they will do all prajalpa on the slate. वो प्रजल्प पे लिखेंगे, कल वो क्या बोल रहा था, और फिर वो दूसरा लिखेगा, वो तुम्हारी निंदा कर रहा था. This happens in monasteries. We have seen this. Why? Because, see, we are not critiquing the idea, but the idea that just by mauna you will become desireless, it is not a very proper idea. See, you have to work here on the mind level, right? It will not be just, you have to purify the mind. You have to have the right desires. You can never become free from desires. It's just that desires should be for pleasure of Krishna. And if somebody attains such a state, Krishna says his liberation is guaranteed. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimohyati sthitva syamantakaalepi brahma nirvanam ricchati. Yeah, so this is the Brahmi sthiti. Brahma becomes Brahmi. This is the spiritual situation. Once somebody achieves this situation of this sthita pragya, sthitva asyam antakalepi, even at the fag end of one's life, when somebody achieves this position, one may be practicing it, and in the last fag end of life, one achieves this sthita pragya situation, Brahma nirvanam ricchati. He will go back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna is giving a great hope that even at the last end of life, sometimes some of us may lament, "Arey, I came to Bhakti so late. I should have come early in the, Krishna is saying, Antakalepi. So Bhakti means you awaken when the seriousness of Bhakti is awakened. That's it. That's the most important time. So there is no coming early or late in Bhakti. The point is you have to become serious. So if you become serious, that's it then. Then even in the last few years of life, one can attain so much of Bhakti. The point is this, that Bhakti process is actually, it depends upon the aspect of how serious one is. If one is very serious, one will make a great advancement quickly. Nirvana means ending the process of materialistic life. According to Buddhist philosophy, there is only void after the completion of this material life. But Bhagavad Gita teaches differently. Bhagavad Gita doesn't say that end of desires is nirvana. Bhagavad Gita says that, after we die, then the real life begins in the abode of Krishna, serving him, if one goes back home, back to Godhead, this way. So that's the Brahmi sthiti. It's not the material platform, but it is spiritual platform. Brahmi sthiti is liberation from material bondage. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of its contents. So this chapter is known as Gita Sutra because all the contents of Gita have been summarized over here. So it is one of the second, it's the second largest chapter. So we also have taken a lot of time to discuss this, but I'm sure the concepts are now understood to certain level. So hopefully the next chapters will be faster now. So I appreciate all of your patient listening very much. Thank you so much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So in tomorrow's session I may take about, I think, almost 2/3 of third chapter. I think I may be able to